All right, here we are.
Yes, sir.
Live, episode 41.
Is it?
We are.
I feel like it's episode 55.
Really?
I feel like I feel old today.
This is your Sammy Hagar? I can't
Getting
drive
out of
55.
yeah.
Speaking of birthdays, happy birthday, Brian Murphy. Had a birthday a couple days ago.
Did he? Nice.
Gemini season is amongst us.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
There's somebody that you know pretty well that it's her birthday this week.
Multiple people, yeah. So that's
Neil Burns' birthday's this week.
Gemini season, here we come. Episode 41, we're going to call this one the K-pop shaped economy of Las Vegas. Couple little play on words. We're going to start off with some light material.
Okay.
Sure. BTS week here. K-pop just finished up. VGK to the Stanley Cup. UEFA Championship earlier this morning as we record. I do know the result, but we'll talk about that in a moment. A little bit of pub banter amongst the pubs as we run up to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Of who is the favorite soccer bar in town to watch the World Cup as we commence with that here in a week or so.
I know who would like to think they are the best one.
Sure. And then a little headier stuff. Water reclamation and desalinization topics for Lake Mead.
Yeah, I read your article. That was your paper. That was interesting.
And then Caesar's Palace sold this week to billionaire Tillman Fertitta. So there's Fertitta, excuse me. There's a lot of chat with that. And then we'll wrap it up. We're going to talk about our first official event, Bourdain Day, June 25th. So we're just a mere 28 days away from that. So what do you got? Any intro ads, my good friend?
No, I think you got it all covered. I mean, I've always got a lot to say, so I'll weave it into everything else we got.
We're going to save that for the body of the pod.
The body of the pod.
And then we'll come right back and crack this.
Welcome to the spot where the good times flow. Chris and Darren behind the bar, putting on a show in Vegas where the sun shines bright and the stories unfold. Grab a pint, pull up a chair, let the good times roll. Sip, socialize, shine, that's the motto we live by. From the strip to downtown, beneath the desert sky. Walls tell tales, bars tell lies, but here we speak the truth.
Body of the pod, Sip, Socialize, Shine. We are the Vegas Day Drinkers. This is my good friend Darren Benjamin. I am the mixologist that uses the word mixologist because I hate it so much, Chris.
This is my cow. That is Maximus the cow. He's a bovine.
So what are we? We're kind of doing this one not on the fly. We've been talking about it for a couple of days, but life is once again. You were up in Seattle for a minute, and I've just been trying to perfect barbecue cheek. So we're just cleaning out some inventory here. What we're going to crack? What do you have?
This was at the clearance bin at Lee's Liquor. Flavortown Spiked Fruit Punch, Guy Fieri.
He kind of looks like Guy Fieri.
I kind of have my moments, yeah, for sure.
And then when we were trying to do a little bit more of a theme a couple recordings ago, I was looking for another particular beer, but we came across here in Nevada Spring Fest. So as we officially leave spring and go into Gemini season, I guess I'm going to knock this back and first in, first out, clean out some of the inventory.
I think this is going to be terrible. What do you think? It is from Flavortown.
That's a joke. Cheers. Salute. Cilantro.
If I drink this and my hair gets all like golden tipped, you'll know it worked.
Before we get into the body of the pod, as I said a moment ago, you kind of you knocked a couple back with the Golden Knights a couple nights ago, right?
Well, I didn't knock it back with them, but
you were adjacent to knocking.
I was adjacent to it. Yes, I got to pee with a couple of them.
There's always that.
And then I got to welcome him at the door, but I knew so basically Chris and I worked at McMullen's, you guys know that. And they swept the Avalanche. And I don't know if I'm sure I've told you the story, Chris, but years ago when the team first came, first round of the playoffs, a couple guys showed up after they swept them. Mm-hmm. And I happened to say, hey guys, this is tradition now. Anytime you sweep a team, you got to come in and party at McMullen's.
Yeah.
And I think it caught on.
Because they do.
Because they do. I'm not saying that they wouldn't go into McMullen's anyway, because McMullen's has always been a very popular hockey bar.
Sure.
But, they're superstitious a lot. What was your superstition when you were playing basketball?
For some of it would be like practice uniforms.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't wash them.
So sports people are very superstitious, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's why I threw it in there. But anyway, the whole team showed up.
So the finals are set now. The Carolina Hurricanes knocked out Montreal last night. So game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final starts this Tuesday, June 2nd, in Carolina. Now on paper and the sports books, they're a slight favorite to win the Stanley Cup. But I think, as we talked about before, 2 months ago when this all started, 8 games to go in the regular season, we were teetering on being in the playoffs. If we made it, good. If we didn't, bad. And then on the closeout first weekend of March Madness, Sunday evening, I remember watching the ticker on SportsCenter saying Bruce Cassidy, VGK head coach, fired. And I think the whole town took
I remember you said that.
took a collective, like, what the fit, you know? And then almost immediately overnight,
10 games left in the season or something like that?
8 games to go in the regular season. Then they named John Tortorella head coach, who I think most previously was with Columbus. Don't quote me on that, so if all you fact checkers, but at least he had tenure there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have gone on this maniacal, crazy, like 17-4-1 run to finish out the season and then go into the playoffs, of where, kind of referencing what you did a moment ago, we kind of knocked it to Utah and then to Anaheim, and no one really expected us to go maybe go tit for tat with Avalanche, but not close it out.
Yeah, on social media, the talk was that we were going to get swept by the Avalanche, and we ended up doing the sweeping. So
yeah, so
hockey to me, like I'm not a huge sports fan, but like I think like in the NBA, the last 2 minutes of the game is really all that really matters.
Sure.
But with hockey, I believe that whoever's playing better hockey at the time is just gonna and it was very clear to me that the Knights were playing better hockey because the Avalanche were a better team on paper.
And in reference to sports analogies and whatnot, if it's just the last 2 minutes of any given game, I mean, from one of my college roommates, if you anything more than 7 strokes, you're just trying to please
yourself.
That's about pool, right?
Yeah. So, I was thinking of another activity, but hey,
yeah,
whatever.
No. Thank you, Micaiah Stice.
This is not good, by the way, people. There's a reason it was in the clearance rack.
That's what 99 cent gets.
It doesn't even taste like fruit punch.
So VGK will be led Mark Stone as the captain. We have some familiar names: Mitch Marnell. We've got Carlson back, so we should be almost full strength, I believe, when the Stanley Cup Finals start Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Now that's going forward a couple of days before we edit this and chop it up. But going back to last week, which we kind of ran out of order, but that's the beauty of what we do, because as bartenders, as you said in the prequel, we're kind of mini caps. This last week just finished up K-pop sensation BTS that played Vegas over like 4 dates over like the last 7 days. Did you see any of that in and around your port of call?
Of course, yeah. I saw lots of shirts. A lot of, as far as like the bartending scene, not that great because it's a lot of young people, like really young people. But I did have a lot of younger people, I guess they're in their 30s now. I thought these boy bands, they're like, teenagers or whatever, but they've been around for a while. So a bunch of 30-year-old somethings, a lot of shirts.
Yeah, I mean, merch is big, right? Because, I mean, we don't live...
Yeah, so big that there was did you see that? There was a massive line at Allegiant just to buy merch.
Oh, yeah. Because I adjacently, like, my friend Keith was in town, and I was running him around, helping him pick out some stuff, mostly a hangover. And he's like, my friend, he goes, I will never drink Jägermeister with you again. And I go, please learn. But
it's funny. I used to have a stack of programs from all the concerts I went to in my 20s and 30s, mm-hmm. like the U2 ones and Madonna, Paul McCartney and all that stuff. And I recently just threw them all away because I'm like, they're just collected dust. But I saved the pop one because I really like the pop one.
Okay.
U2.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Anyway.
But, I mean, I think like Luke Bryant, there's Luke Bryan and Luke Bryant who played Allegiant a couple months ago and in the round, and they came back with the statistics. BTS also did for their 4 shows and end the round. So I'm sure there's some numbers that haven't been published yet.
There was some crazy
record sales
thing I was talking about the other day. Like BTS brought like 250,000 people over 2 different weekends or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but all on the same day, we had the Vegas Golden Knights, we had BTS playing, we had like Bruno Mars, we had No Doubt.
Yeah, No Doubt at the Sphere.
And then I don't think that's not even any of the other venues. I think Circle Jerks was playing Brooklyn Bowl, and that's a smaller venue, but But who else? I don't even know who else was there that I didn't even know about.
Well, I mean, you kind of had the deconstruction of the EDC, so that's no easy feat,
Yeah.
So, I mean, all the per se concert goers.
Did you see next year it's going to be 2 weeks?
2 weekends, over 2 weekends,
Yeah.
because they just don't make enough with 500,000 people.
Oh my God! Like I heard something like $1.6 billion in the Vegas economy for that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So when people talk about Vegas being dead, the old Vegas may be dead. We're the 99-cent shrimp cocktails, but we're the city of entertainment. And then people just don't stop coming.
Yeah, and kind of going back to the BTS thing, are you familiar with any of their work?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Much to
everybody I just talked about, like I know maybe a couple of Bruno Mars songs, but like BTS, Luke Bryan, I have no idea. Speaking of, do you see he's opening in the Bones of Margaritaville?
I did. I talked about that the other day.
Yeah, so it's gonna be there. You're gonna have pretty soon. You're gonna have it's gonna be like Broadway West,
right?
Like Tennessee, Nashville.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. I mean, because you have Jason Aldean down there. You have what's his name? Yeah, that guy, Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
You did have Big and Rich, but Big and Rich went away. I'm sure there's something else coming.
What was the one that was in the back of the Flamingo? It was the I Love This Bar.
Toby Keith.
Toby Keith Bar and Grill.
This podcast brought to you today by Sierra Nevada Springfest IPA. If you like the mini belches, drink Springfest IPA because that's what I'm getting right now.
That's a wonderful commercial, Chris.
Right. So doing it doggy style with Trevor Beckwith.
Whoa.
So you got up today. I got up. You helped some friends out. I started writing the pod or continuing the pod. UEFA Championships. Our friend Brennan flew over there for basically 48 hours in Budapest to watch his favorite team play.
Our old Kiwi friend?
Different Brendan.
Brendan. Okay.
Has a beard and coaches.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, Brendan. Gotcha.
Yeah, so he flew over with his family.
One of the many Brendans.
Yes, this is true. So, but flew over to Budapest to watch Arsenal play PSG. I don't think the result is what he wanted, but it was a 1-1 match going into extra time, and then it became penalty kicks, and PSG won out. So,
damn it.
Which leads us to another subject matter as we kind of go into the World Cup season here, hosted in the Americas, coming up here in a week or so, more than a week, between Canada, like the USA, and Mexico. There seems to be a little murmur and clamor of activity amongst the local pubs, if you will, of who will be the best event space to show the World Cup matches over the month that they exist once they start. And then you see on the social media's feeds, you've got the Irish spot, which is new to the scene. You've got the Little Crown on Spring Mountain.
Yeah.
You have the Hofbrauhaus for the German contingency. You obviously have Reraw, the component for like the Western European. We have our beloved McMullen's, who just got named one of the top sports pubs in the country to watch live sport. And then like a late contender, but much like the Kentucky Derby up from the back, Jackpot's throwing their name in the mix as an Arsenal supporter bar and then place to watch the World Cup.
I think it's hilarious that you say that, but we have a friend involved that
Sure.
is trying to carry that torch.
Yeah.
But do I think Jackpots is a no? I just think it's a. I think go where you want,
Right.
basically.
Well, and much to your point of a moment ago, like saying you're not as big a sports guy as I am too. It's like one of the biggest components when I've worked in the bar is kind of like knowing your surroundings. And if I am aware of it, then I would think maybe not every guest is aware of it, but I'm definitely dialed into like when I walk into a bar, if they have said sport on that I want to watch. Like if I walk in Tuesday night and they're like at least one of the many televisions aren't programmed on to like Stanley Cup playoffs, then you are dropping the ball as a bartender or bar owner or operator.
So as far as an operator, like I think all the games are like going to be, in America, in our time zone. So I think most people are just going to watch them, where they would normally. I think there's going to be a lot of local places that are they'll put on the game for everybody. So I don't think it's going to be as big a deal, for those ones you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Unless you have big groups. Now, I do think that when Team USA is playing, I think those places will be very popular.
Right.
And then I think ultimately, essentially, it'll be boiled down to, like you just said, when Opera House is showing a game, if Germany's playing, I think it's going to be huge. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah, and it's how you market it too. And it's if, like you said, it is if like the broadcast time is in the, not the Greenwich Mean Time, but the Pacific Time Zone, Central, Eastern, or Mountain West. That works out for us, but for the international fan base, are they waking up early or staying up late to watch the games? And then we are in Las Vegas where most bars are 24 hours. So again, it doesn't really hurt us per se. But if it was like Kelly's in Kansas City, are they opening a little bit early or staying open a little bit late? Or are you just because it's being broadcast on major networks, watching on Fox Sports? Or
I think that like when because at McMullen's they used to show a lot of different Irish sports and like Australian sports. And originally it was only streaming and you could only watch it if you paid like a fee. And a lot of those sports have come to major networks now, or you can just stream at home now. So I think that game is a little bit it changed now. So I don't think the local spots are going to be as crazy. I do think McMullen's is going to be the number one spot in town, honestly.
And obviously the NEAN component of the LVRG that just published that article. I think there was 3 bars that were named in Las Vegas for the top 100 sports bars to watch sport.
Yeah.
Vegas. McMullen's being the highest of the 3 ranked. Where will you watch the World Cup matches? Some?
I'll be working.
In the esprit de corps of the month?
But I will definitely pop into McMullen's to watch a match. Maybe. I'm not going to go out of my way.
Will you paint your face?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and people ask me if I speak Klingon, and I'm like, no, I actually like vagina. So I don't do any of that mumbo jumbo.
I thought you actually had a Starfleet command tattoo.
I mean, if you walked into my house, if you had a vagina, you might be turned off immediately if you saw all the junk in here. But
if we put this on a 360 spin, it is quite the outtake.
Yeah.
I'll probably pop into McMullen's too, and just because I am of this ilk of sport, I would probably check out Jackson's for the first time in a long time.
If you ever in McMullen's, like I was just mentioning to Chris, 2014, Clint Dempsey scored the fastest goal in U.S. men's team history, 29 seconds in against Ghana, and the ceilings at McMullen's are, I think, probably like 15 feet. Would you say 15?
Yeah.
And everybody in the bar got wet. Every beer left its cup, and there's still stains on the ceiling all these years later. So it's very exciting to watch the games there.
So other than cracking a beer, one of which I'm okay with yours, and you're like, that's the 99-cent flavor of the moment.
Yeah.
See what I did there? We haven't really talked a lot about day drinking, but like when you do day drink, I guess it's topical subject matter. That's what we do at the bar. It's not just like, let me inform you about the proper way to make a Negroni. No, you talk about life and things and subjects that are going on. And obviously we're in one of the most scintillating cities in the world, not just country, being Las Vegas, and everybody knows or has a Las Vegas story. And if they don't, they probably will. And one of the things that when we write this podcast, we kind of scroll different things. We scroll social media. We scroll the LVRJ. We scroll kind of what other pods are saying. I mean,
the weekly.
We curate, if you will, the weekly.
Social media.
And
speaking of social media, real quick tangent.
Never.
See Alton Brown, Alton Brown, the chef?
Yeah.
He makes like Negroni, a freezer Negroni.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
He just mixes everything in the bottle and just keeps it in the freezer.
Okay.
And if he wants one, he just pours it direct. Over ice.
Nice. Yeah, he's been popping up in my feed lately. But I used him as the North Star for when I started making my own eggnog a handful of years ago. I used his recipe as kind of a guide because I sat there and watched his YouTube video and I go, that makes sense.
Your eggnog is delicious.
My eggnog is delicious.
So listen to Alton Brown or try Chris's.
Fresh shaved nutmeg. But one of the things that's coming up here for us as we live in an ever-expanding cityscape of Las Vegas is the water rights. And in October of this year, if the 7 western states considered the North and the South Basin can't figure it out, it's going to go to a federal level, of which it's probably not going to work out for Nevada as well as it could be right now. So my kind of tagline, if you will, and I'm going to read some of this, the Colorado River is on life support and Vegas has a seat at the table. So Lake Mead right now is at 28.5% capacity. It dropped another 0.3% just this past week. At this rate, we're not managing a reservoir. We're managing a puddle with a really good PR. A full pool at Lake Mead at its maximum level is 26 million acre feet. We're sitting at about 7.4 million of that. That's not a drought. That's a different lake with the same name. The feds are projecting if we can't figure this out by fall, if it falls below the 2022 level all-time record low by July of 2027, they're going to take over and mitigate. And before anyone asks, how do you think that affects your beer? I'm kidding. But have you like researched some of that? I mean, I was kind of writing that piece.
For the
Well, what should we do?
Well, I mean,
and we've talked about this before.
So I don't know what we should do exactly, what we should do, but you know, when I talk to people about the water level, they're like, "Oh, we'll just pump water in from California." Like, we are at a high elevation. You know, you have to go up over the mountains and 4,000 feet, and then we drop down to like what 2,200.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to bring it all the way up and then all the way down, plus pump it all the way from the ocean. There's no simple solution there. People just assume that it's gonna be okay. I take another view. I think it's possible to do up in like Oregon, Washington, perhaps, maybe Northern California, and then pump it from there. Mm-hmm. Have different substations along the way. But it's gonna have to happen, because how many people live along the Colorado? Is that in your numbers?
I don't have that in numbers.
Like 40 million or something like that.
Something like that.
And that's their water source for everybody. Groundwater is a big source for a lot of people, but you pump groundwater out, it doesn't just fill itself back up.
So the big fight right now is considered between, like I said a moment ago, the upper basin and the lower basin, and we're considered part of the lower basin. The upper basin consists of the states of Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, and New Mexico. The lower basin is us, Arizona, California. Now, Nevada, Southern Nevada Water District, or whatever, for 20 plus years now have gone above and beyond for water reclamation, and
we're number one in the United States.
Yeah, we're very aggressive with our.
Even more than Phoenix, which is crazy because they have even less.
Right. And so, like, our basic point is that we are already contributing what we're supposed to be, and much like the fights with the DBE and the DBEs and the Culinary Union currently going on at the airport, you get so many voices in there because you have 7, 8 Western states, all different projecting different ideas.
Well, we kind of talked about it the other day, and like, I know people are going to hear this and they're going to kind of get upset, but like Northern California, you have a lot of farmers up there, and they farm old school style. They dig ditches and they feed their crops that way. And I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but it seems to me that we should probably reform how we farm up there a little bit, like newer technologies. Mm-hmm. You save a lot of water. You talk about some of those crops are almonds, which take something like 3 gallons of water just to make one almond.
Yeah.
So there's different ways to farm, but when you talk about farming, you think old school, you think conservative, you think people, they're not going to bend because my family's been doing this for 100 years, So it's really just, you're going to have to like compromise, and we're going to have to work this out together. Otherwise, something's going to happen eventually. Like, I think the dam's supposed to hit Deadpool in like October.
By sometime in 2027. Yeah. But I mean,
no, this year potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
What that means is that the water won't flow over the turbines that make the dam provide power for Las Vegas. So.
And since I kind of alluded to a moment ago about sometimes we get more topical in situations, not just about Vegas day drinking or day drinking in general.
Well, this is, conversations you would hear at a bar.
Yeah.
Like, this is what people talk about.
But let's talk about some of the local breweries. Brewing beer is a thirsty work. It takes roughly 7 gallons of water to produce a single gallon of beer when you factor in cleaning, cooling, and production. Nevada's craft brewery scene has exploded between Las Vegas, Reno, and Henderson's. There's real businesses with real water allocations tied to municipal supply, which is tied directly to Lake Mead.
Yeah.
Now, if the feds step in later this year, because we can't play nice amongst the 7 states out here, mandatory federal cuts to the lower basin won't just hit the golf courses and agriculture, they'll work their way into municipal allocations. Municipalities get squeezed. Businesses feel it. The Southern Nevada Water Authority has been exceptional at recycling indoor water, which we were talking about. Mm-hmm. But breweries that are consumptive use, the water doesn't come back to the system the same way. So a federal takeover of water policy could genuinely make your local pint more expensive or scarcer, or both. How about that?
I think this administration is pretty fair to businesses, and they wouldn't be doing that. But I think future administrations might kind of try to control it a little bit, but, and I'm not for that really, but I don't know, man. Like, I just think we need more reform.
More refer.
But I think we need not to be business friendly. Like what we have Switch here, which is a massive data center.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what kind of water that uses.
Sure.
That's a big deal up in Utah right now. That data center they just approved, it's going to be the largest in the country.
Right.
Use more water than all the residents or something like that. Plus, takes more power than everybody in the state.
Oh yeah, I mean the data center component in Nevada alone. I mean every state really, but Nevada between Reno and here, you drive by almost as much as I do the Switch, which is about to have their first quote unquote AI factory opening online. That one right there off of Badura that they've been building for 2 years or whatever.
We need that so you can make more sloppy AI videos online.
Yeah. What if I made sloppy AI videos about sloppy Joes?
Not you, but just the people in general.
But going back to desalinization, they start using the component of the Carlsbad plant out in North County, San Diego.
Sure.
And how that's been offline for some time because environmentalists, but if they, Nevada and Arizona are subsidizing California because they're basically saying that we're going to be a pay-per-play component to have California build desalinization plants. And it can't, the Carlsbad alone enough will not be enough. It's just going to have to be a whole network like what Israel basically did over in the Middle East for them to produce enough water, because solely if we just put that plant online and they can contribute it, because what we're paying is like they allow us to take a percentage of their cut of the Western water rights. I think I read something like it would be 122 years before Lake Mead would be back up at capacity. So basically what they're saying is one of the answers is a component would be a network of desalinization plants up and down the California coast that allowed them to offset some of their water rights production.
My thought would be Canada, USA, Vancouver, all the way up, all the way down, helping to offset that, but I don't know.
Then of course, because let's mention the other side too, and the reason it hasn't happened as of yet, and it seems like a seemingly small number to build out this network of what they're saying right now is like $15 billion.
Yeah, but
to build these plants.
What though, unfortunately, we live in a world where, there's deniability. People don't want to spend their tax dollars doing anything. It needs to be done, and it has to be done. And unfortunately, we probably wait till we have to put out a fire rather than doing it while it's only $15 billion. I can imagine a world where we put it off, and then it's an emergency, and then it costs us $100 billion.
Sure.
Plus, when you get local municipalities, you get government involved, it becomes a leaky bucket, so to say, and then it costs way more money.
Yeah.
So
any environmental concerns? Because usually that's what gets flags going in California. The biggest thing is the residual salt that's strained from taking the salt out of the ocean.
I mean, obviously, you're going to have to build mines for it, all kinds of stuff. But guess what? We have a wonderful mine up in Yucca Mountain that's not being used right now. So
yeah, there we go.
And plus, also, 80% of the state is owned by the Fed. So start up there. I don't really give a shit.
True. So, in closing on this subject,
look at, one more thing though. You look at what's going on with the Great Salt Lake City. They're drying up, and there's arsenic in the ground.
Oh, really?
From the salt.
Okay.
And it's becoming a big problem, and they're having to put a whole bunch of money into desalination and pumping water in there as well.
Really?
It's a big deal.
Where are they getting their water?
I don't know. I'd have to look more into it, but I do know it's a big problem there.
Because this is episode 41, the K-pop shaped economy of Vegas, and we don't talk about more things, and there's less things, so it just gives us more content for another episode. Getting away from, but there's really in a short amount of time, fall of this year, there's tough decisions that are going to be made, and I'm sure, like you said, they're going to rest on their heels, and stupid shit's going to happen. I
think that nothing will get done, and I think it'll stay the same, because I don't think this. Because this is not political at all. It just is political. That Northern California has a lot of control, and it's typically conservative. Current administration is conservative. They're not going to side with the lefties, so it's not gonna change until it's forced to.
Got it.
That's my personal belief.
Well, that's why we have conversations.
And like I said, it's not a political thing. It's just how it is, and people just, if you have an R in front of your name or a D in front of your name, you just don't work with each other.
That's right. Unless you're talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Because Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about that on Bill Maher last night. So he goes, I sat in the room with and he's like, it was a mixed house, but everyone was like, ooh. He goes, so he'd appreciate this. He goes, space is the answer.
Space is the answer.
It's the
100%.
final frontier.
Literally.
Yeah. I think he just got a chub. Hey, let's talk another big subject before we talk a fun subject before we get out of here. This week, Tillman Fertitta, billionaire that owns Landry Restaurant Group, owns Houston Rockets, owns the Gold Nugget downtown, after much murmur and conversation since February, has acquired the Caesars Palace Group for cash price of $5.9 billion, I believe, but an overall price with assumed debt of like close to $12 billion. So 17, 18 total.
Yeah.
Good or bad for Las Vegas?
Well, to be honest with you, I think the way that he runs Landry's, all I've ever seen people complain, that work for Landry's once they own them. So, and Landry's has taken all kinds of hits, as far as the restaurants go.
Yeah.
If you're in the Landry group, remember when Claim Jumper was amazing and then Landry bought it and it kind of sunk?
I mean,
then I think they just closed they just announced they're going to close a whole bunch of Smith & Wollensky's all over the country.
Do they own that?
Yeah.
I don't know that. A younger me went to Claim Jumper a handful of times, and I know the portions were always pretty good size. That was one of their kind of denotations, right?
Yeah.
But it was never really in my footprint of where I grew up in, or once I got out here, there were so many other options already, or I just wasn't close to it. I mean, I just seem to remember like the slice of chocolate cake for dessert was always big. But
I just think he's a businessman and whatever helps his business. I don't think he cares one fucking bit about anybody but himself.
So that's what he took
and his
on.
Businesses.
Because if you remember,
which is fine, he's got the money, and that's.
If you remember, he still has the parcel of land on Las Vegas Boulevard in Harmon, where the Harley Davidson Cafe used to sit.
Okay.
So some of the stuff I was researching for the pod today is the Caesars purchase now a better play? Because I remember reading a piece with him a couple years ago saying where the cost of goods, the cost of labor, the cost was not befitting of building a new casino at the time. And that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So where that Harley Davidson Cafe sat is 6 acres of land.
Okay.
So kind of running some numbers, and this was my own head, and I also used the assistance of sloppy AI.
As you do.
The 6 acres would equate to a current build-out, comparatively speaking, of more recently opened hotels like Fontainebleau and Resorts World. It would take a 4 to 5 year build-out. It would cost roughly $3 to $4 billion from the ground up. Whereas with the Caesars group that he just bought, not only does he get the asset, and that 6 acres would only yield 1,200 to 1,800 rooms that haven't made him any revenue yet.
Yeah.
Where Caesars Palace gives you just on that property alone almost 4,000 rooms, plus he gets the regional Caesars, plus he gets the Horseshoe, plus he gets the Link, plus what else does he get? He gets
World Series of Poker.
World Series of Poker, and then he gets the database of the Caesars Reward people, which is like roughly 65 million people.
Yeah.
So for you think of the cash price of what he paid of $5.9 billion, you're plus or minus only a couple $1 billion more than from the ground up zero to take on this existing iconic property.
Isn't it crazy that we're just talking about billions as if they're millions now?
Oh, we've said that before too. Like with all the NVIDIA stuff and everything, and the AI, and NVIDIA's going to invest $200 billion this way and $200 billion swings that way. I go, we have jumped a shark between the billion and the $2 billion.
And yet, there's like a guy, sleeping on the curb down the road,
yeah.
And they're talking about billions and trillions evaluations. And speaking of, anyway, I'm just going to get into something else. But yeah, I really don't care. You know what? I've been here for 27 years, and I've seen these casinos change hands so many times. I think it's just kind of like a dick swinging thing. It's like, oh, look I got this and that.
Sure.
And none of it really matters. I don't think any of it really matters ultimately at the end of the day, because like they don't affect my daily life. You know, I don't work on the Strip anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Well, on that note, too, our good friend Professor Galloway, I was watching some of his stuff the other day, and he was stating that he felt, we are in 2026, that he felt in 2 very short years, 2028, that this country alone will see 5 to 6 trillionaires,
oh yeah, I believe that 100% because
which is insane.
well, the tax laws have been in their favor for the last 40 years, so it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like you said, it's just such an astronomically high number.
You know what? I was watching this. There's a gal that does she does like talks about tax code and stuff like that. And she was saying, you know what the biggest giveaway in government is? You know what the biggest cost program in government is?
What?
You would think it's what? Military, Medicaid, Medicare,
Yeah.
education. No, you know what it is? It's tax cheats. It's the biggest giveaway. Something like I think the military is $1.2 trillion a year. The tax cheats is like something in the effect of $2.4 trillion a year.
Wow.
Just the write-offs everybody can do. And, you know, the only people doing those write-offs are not me and you.
Right.
You know, anyway, I think that's ultimately, at the end of the day, for Tillman, that's all it is. It's like, what can he write off as taxes so he can make
Well, and I said, obviously, he's a smart business guy, right? And he's not going to assume a $12 billion worth of debt. I mean, I don't think they're going to write it off, but they're obviously going to become creative.
Yeah.
Because the casino business in general is such a cash-forward business that it's transactional. And over time, you know, obviously you go, you know, adjust your interest rates. You go, you know, I mean, things like these finance people do where you like, yeah, your previous debt, you buy it for lower, this and that. And then you just, as you march forward in time, as you continue to churn cash, it writes it down incrementally. Why you said his dick gets bigger.
There's a book that that you should read. It's called Networks. Have you heard about it? The author, I don't remember his name. It's some weird name. It's a foreign name.
Okay.
But, I shouldn't say weird because to them it's not weird. But anyway, Sapiens and Networks. Networks is all about the human, you know, all the human ways that we connect and network together. And I think like all this stuff we're talking about, this trillions and billions and tax codes, it's all just social contract. Like it really doesn't even exist. It only exists if you allow it to. And these people have a vested interest in keeping it for themselves rather than letting us all, you know, prosper.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you talked about red pill and blue pill the other day.
Yeah.
And then like kind of like the title of this episode alluding to the K-shaped economy of like what was originally termed by a gentleman professor, I believe, out of William and Mary.
This Flavor Town's really hitting, man.
In 2020, that was talking about the pandemic and where the white-collar folks stayed at home and continued to work from afar or remotely, and the blue-collar folk had to show up to work and do in the trench work, and how it's taken on a secondary life of its own post-pandemic, and now just as the have and the have-nots of what you and I talk about a lot.
And, you know, going back to the beginning, kind of what we were talking about pre-show, is that bartenders wear many hats, and we listen to all sides of the story. So whether it be, you know, rich, poor, mediocre, dumb, stupid, beautiful, ugly, we see it all.
So as Tillman proceeds to go forward with the Caesar's Palace brand, which I believe would be ratified in July of this year, local numbers report from April of last year to April of this year, there was a 7% visitation drop in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But there was a net gain again on gaming. So kind of to like what we talk about and a lot of other pods talk about.
The K-shaped economy. That revenue is coming from the top earners.
Right.
Yeah. The whales.
But the day-to-day folk, and we've talked about in a previous episode how Spirit Airlines is no longer in business and used to bring 8 million people a year annually, which a year and annually are the same words, so I apologize. To Las Vegas is just, you know, the casino heads are wagering, literally pun intended, you know, on which way it's going to go.
Let's take a quick break real quick.
We are back.
Let's wrap it up with our spiel.
Well, if I can find it. Damn it, where'd it go? Anyway.
We're always prepared here.
Well, wait, there we go. So, you know, Darren and I keep talking about live events, doing tours, things like this. We've done 41 episodes of a podcast. We appreciate, for those that listen, our blubber, our banter, our bully
pulpit.
Our bully pulpit. But in unison with Jameson Black Barrel and the Huntridge Tavern on Charleston, Maryland, June 25th, a mere like 29 days away. We have our first hosted event in honor of a patriarch of ours, Anthony Bourdain Day, brought to you by Vegas Day Drinkers and Jameson Black Barrel and Huntridge Tavern and Raul and Mare and ourselves. So I keep saying this, but I'm going to do the email sign up. It's going to be from 4 to 10. The 4 to 7th opponent's going to have like a raffle and some things. And on behalf of his agency out of CIA, for people that want to pursue careers in the culinary field. And then from 7 to 10, we're going to have a DJ that's going to play some Bourdain-inspired hits. What else we got going?
Woo! It's going to be fun. There's going to be some special stuff that is only going to be available there, and it's going to be for charity, for his charity, which is CIA.
Yep.
Culinary Institute of America.
Yes.
So it's just going to be a fun thing. It's just going to be good vibes, bartenders hanging out.
So
fun.
he passed, what is it now, 8 years ago. And every year since he's passed, I've gone down there and raised a beer and a shot to him. Part of the reason it is Jameson Black Barrel is, one, Raul's our friend. Two, he is seen on camera in that episode of Parts Unknown back in 2014-15, drinking said libation at the Huntridge. So that kind of made it easy to get them on board with. And for future vendors, we are trying to do collab.
We're live, man.
We're back. That part of the edit should be fun. And hold on.
You get older, you just, when you got to go, you got to go.
Flavor Town. Anyway, so we're just going to start wrapping this up. In this episode, we talked about BTS week. We talked about VGK, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Stanley Cup, UEFA Championship this morning. We talked about pubs and where to watch them for the World Cup. We talked about water reclamation and desalinization options for Las Vegas as we go forward in 2026 in the future.
We got a little deep with that.
I know.
Unlike Lake Mead, which is not so deep anymore.
See what he did there?
Yeah.
See what he did there? You can't write that.
No.
Yeah. Tillman Fertitta's purchase of Caesar's Palace this week. And then we wrapped up talking about Bourdain Day, hosted by us, the Vegas Day Drinkers, in collaboration with Jameson Black Barrel and the Huntridge Tavern. Have you been to the Huntridge Tavern?
Yeah.
I've been to the Huntridge Tavern. Of course we've been.
There's a funny video. I think I should post it anyway. Chris didn't want it, but lady telling us we can't film in there, even though we'd asked if we could film in there, and nobody was on camera but us. But she was very adamant about not being filmed.
We did everything and beyond, asking for permission and giving permission by management and ownership to film in there. And then some random Karen just had to have her say, even though that we live in the state of the world now where we're probably filmed more than we're not.
Yeah.
Much
100%.
as like we film here in front of you today.
100%. So I guess we'll just wrap it up and go Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup champions.
VGK, let's go.
Coming soon.
Keep surprising.
And, you never know. If you end up at McMullen's after a game, you might find yourself peeing next to one of the Golden Knights.
Leave comments. I'm going to keep working on this. Darren's going to help me. I know he keeps kicking my ass, even though it hurts him. And sip, socialize, shine.
Flavor Town.
Not so much.